I did my exchange program in the city of Newcastle at Newcastle University, and probably like lots of people really don't know like where the Newcastle is. So I'm gonna talk about that. So Newcastle is located in the northern part of England, so it's quite cold. So I think everybody has this stereotype that in the UK the people don't really use the umbrella, but what I noticed, after going there is that we don't really have to use the umbrella because,
Really?
yeah, I mean, in Japan, it doesn't rain so often, but when it rains very hard.
Mhm.
But in the UK, the precipitation itself, it's much lower than Japan. So,
I see.
so I just noticed that we don't really have to use the umbrella.
I studied abroad at California in the United States, specifically at the San Diego, which is the south part of California. And then, California is very famous for LA, but it's kind of, I didn't live there. It's like, 2 hours, it takes 2 hours by car from San Diego. And then, like, San Diego is very close to uh, Mexico. So there are a lot of like Mexican people and, people who speak Spanish. So like I went to the Palma College, and then there are a lot of people who are Mexican and who like their mother or father can speak Spanish. And so yeah, I was like, I wish I could learn Spanish.
I did my exchange program at Memorial University in Newfoundland, which is very isolated island in Canada, and it's also located in the northern part of Canada, I believe, and it is generally said that the big cruise ship Titanic
Mm,
is sank around the Newfoundland.
wow.
And
Oh,
also, yeah, the Newfoundland is famous for its dog called Newfoundland, but um I've never seen it. Yeah, while in the Newfoundland.
I really wanted to do exchange program because if I use private an institution, it's quite expensive. So like in my case, my option was university that is affiliated with APU. So and I really liked the British English in the first place. And second, there are so many universities, that are affiliated with APU, but Newcastle University was on another level, to be honest. So there's this university ranking in the world. The Newcastle University is ranked at hundreds 20 over 1 day. So comparing to other universities, I think the Newcastle was one of the best. So the in my case, British English, yes, and its level, it's really academically successful university. So I chose that.
I've ever been to the UK when I was a second year student. So I wanted to go somewhere else, uh, and then I really wanted to learn about the cinema, about the film. So I think California is basically the place that like a lot of movies was shot, and then so I was like, I think I can learn something about the cinema out there. So I chose California.
In spite of Masa, I really love American English, and I have been learning English since I was a child with a private teacher, and he's from Nebraska in the U.S.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's why I got American accent a little bit, and the reason why I chose Canada is to sophisticate my American accent, and um, in terms of the tuition fee, I had to choose the university which is affiliated with IG Prefecture University. So, and to put it bluntly, I I wasn't interested in the university in the U.S. that is affiliated with APU. So I had no choice but to choose to Canada.
Mm.
I believe that the university in the rural area serves a good environment for students to study and focuses on the study. So yeah, that's another reason why I chose the Memorial University.
Um, because in my case, I'm a big fan of tennis, and then that has been my dream to watch tennis match in the flesh. And like like being in Japan, I don't really have the opportunity to watch tennis match. But if I were in the UK, I can travel to European countries pretty easily. So yeah, I think that geographical factor definitely influence my choice. So and then I actually went to Paris, London, Germany, Spain, to watch tennis match or stuff like that. So I think in that regard as well, the Newcastle University is a fantastic place. Yeah, it's really great to be able to travel so easily.
When I went to the UK, I felt like it's not like like it was cloudy or raining. So I was like, I often felt like moody, and then so I think for some people it's good, but like I was like, I need more sun. Sunny day, I need more sunny days. So like California, like there are a lot of beaches, and then yeah, that's but the only thing, the problem is that if you don't have a car, you can't go anywhere, or you have to make friends, like who live there, so that you can like they can take you to like everywhere.
Yeah, true.
So
True.
yeah, I made some couple friends who live there. So like all the time, like they they pick me up before the school and pick me home after school, and then yeah, like on weekends we went to like beach.
As Moy said, I always had to rely on the friends who had car to
Mm-hmm.
go to supermarket,
Yeah,
even
that's true.
supermarket, because um, I lived in a very rural area, so the like public transportation such as bus or train were ill equipped. So yeah, it was terrible. And this was my very first time to lead my life without my family's help.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's I had difficulties washing my dishes, doing laundry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it was much more harder than catching up with the classes in the university.
Because I was living in a flat, so flatmates were sometimes very noisy, at night. I
Mm.
guess it's very British culture to go to clubbing, yeah, pretty much every day. So
Every day?
it's not only Friday
I
night.
know, but
It's pretty much every day. So
wow.
it was a bit noisy sometimes, but yeah, it's okay. That's British culture. So yeah, I think that's one thing. I couldn't cook by myself as well, so I was eating pasta. Yeah, every day. That was quite depressing. So I guess you have lots of time now. So if you have nothing to do, just I recommend start to practice the cooking now.
In the class, like people say their opinion so many times. Like in Japan, like at least the student wait until the teacher says the everything, like for example the first class, at the first class in the first class, the teacher explains about the class, about the course, but before the explanation ends, like lots of people like raise their hand and then ask some questions, and then I was like, why don't you guys wait? I was like, he's explaining. And then I was like, but it's it's not that bad thing, and then that's normal. And then if you don't ask at the time, there's no time you ask for you to ask. So I have to like say my opinion, or like if I have some like questions, I have to ask at that point. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's American style. Yeah, it's kind of hard to like get used to it, because I'm I got used to like wait until they finish talking about one thing. So I was kind of at first I was kind of like worried about that.
At least at Newcastle University, the atmosphere that more experienced in the US wasn't very evident. It was pretty much very close to Japan. So yeah, I didn't have any difficulties like in terms of it, but I guess like in terms of classes, I guess you have to have your opinion, and I recommend you become more like familiar with like Japanese stuff, because like in the class I was often asked my opinion, how it's like in Japan, how do like Japanese people react to that. So I had so many opportunities like to voice my opinion in the class. So like that's when like I started like reading like, a newspaper or stuff like that. Because if I don't know like what's going on in Japan, um, everybody would assume that I'm stupid. So and they didn't like it. So yeah, at least like social problems like what's happening in Japan. I guess you really have to like understand. I have to study it. In order to be very like outstanding in the class like in a good way. So
All of my classes were like theory stuff. So unless the students stop the teachers talking, the teacher never stop and continue talking. But it actually never happens because students are all studied spontaneously, so they didn't stop questioning and intermediating the class. But as Masa said, without having the knowledge about the classes, or like the knowledge of my country, the student wouldn't have been able to stop the class and speak their opinion. So that it's cardinal thing to prepare for the class.
that I really enjoyed with traveling around European countries, like not only like international travel, like I really enjoyed a domestic travel as well. So I went to Scotland, London, York. So yeah, so definitely like traveling like around really is one of the very funniest memories like for me. Yeah, that was really fantastic. So, but other than that, I really enjoyed the freedom that I had in the UK. Because like for me, like I'm from Kasugai, so I'm just it's very close to Nagakute, where like our university locates. So just living like with my family. So don't really have like much freedom at home. So really enjoyed my freedom in the UK.
I enjoyed like hanging out with my friends after school, mainly because there are a couple of like study rooms at the library, and then there are big screen that you can watch YouTube, or like you can actually access the internet. And then so we like gather after the classes and then watch some YouTube, or like sometimes we watch some movies on Netflix because the library is open uh, by 8:30 p.m. and then so I didn't like do my homework on weekdays, and then instead of that I did my homework on weekends because I couldn't go out like so many times because I didn't have a car.
It's not a fun story, but I actually made a rant with the skills.
you made a rant. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I wrote an official complaint for the leaking of the
Wow.
apartment. Yeah. So yeah, the skills I learned in your class worked benevolently, but also malevolently.
Uh-oh.
The
Wow.
writing was really good. So, and also my landlord of the apartment knows that I'm not a native speaker of the English.
Mhm.
So he actually came to the apartment to have quarrel with me directly. So yeah,
Wow.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
he had been belligerent from the start to the end. Yeah, but I had to, be assertive also to get the refund for
Oh.
yeah. So yeah,
That's good.
So you were you able to get the refund then?
Yeah,
You were
I-
So
successful?
you negotiated
successful.
with them. Wow.
Not negotiated, but
No
fight
negotiated.
it.
Oh no.
Yeah, but yeah, it was very irritating experience. But at the same time, not everyone can experience this, so
Yeah.
I'm very satisfied.
If it's in a situation like yours, Yoshi, like living situation, or even in Moa's situation, like
Yeah.
you have to be assertive in the group discussion
Mhm.
because nobody, at least in my experience in the United States, nobody's gonna wait for you to say
Yeah,
something.
that's true.
You have to say it.
Yeah, I have to say.
Well, like I just want to say like Newcastle is a fantastic place to study, like in terms of like libraries, like that Moe mentioned, like in the middle, like and there are 4 libraries in Newcastle that the student at Newcastle University can use. And like, and one of them is open like 24/7. So and plus like at Newcastle University, because it's really renowned university, like lots of like talented people are studying there. Like for example, like one of my friends, like he was playing in the Olympics, and like another friend, like he's British, but he studied like Mandarin for his undergraduate program, and he won the second prize in speech contest, like in the world.
Mm.
So yeah,
Wow.
just like my personal friends, like they were quite talented. So I'm pretty sure like there's so many people like them at Newcastle University. So I really recommend Newcastle University.
They
I,
have
I advise
quality.
you to build up your vocab because some people discuss whether the glossary from the first grade of Aiken is actually used or not, but it is actually.
Mm.
And you may encounter many terminologies and very, very difficult words. So yeah, you definitely should uh, the polish up your vocab
Mm.
as well as the listening and writing and reading.
If you are wondering if you should study abroad or not, I think you should definitely should do that because it's not about just the language. You know, you're gonna experience about the culture itself, and then like wherever you go, there like it has like completely different culture. So like which is good like many of you like are worried about like putting yourself in the different land or like different community, and you're gonna miss friends, family, Japan, but you can experience a lot of wonderful things. So I definitely recommend the long term studying abroad because you can experience great things.
And can I say this?
Yeah.
I really recommend like you study for like a TOEFL or IELTS like at this point.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
when I was at the time, because for me like an IELTS 6.5 was really high. It wasn't very viable to be honest. But like one thing that I noticed like after like going there is that like a 6.5 is just a minimum requirement. You really have to aim higher, like 7 or 7.5 at this point. I know it's difficult, but like in the long run, it's gonna be really worthwhile to study really hard, like at this point. So yeah, this is one thing that I want to say. You really have to have like one big strength, like um, like if you want to be really like understanding, like among people, you really have to have one talent. It doesn't have to be very great talents, but like in my case, I could play tennis or like in badminton or table tennis. And for British people, they don't really, they play badminton or table tennis in PE classes like we do at primary school or junior high school. So I was much better like in terms of like badminton or table tennis, and then everybody like started respecting me. I think that's very important. So like if you are like in this society, like the badminton society, and if you can play badminton, everybody wanna to fight you. So everybody like was like, hey master, like let's play. So yeah, I think in that way I made so many friends. So I think my friends like consist of like the people who like tennis or who like Japan. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So I
true.
think like you're Japanese. That's definitely like one of the advantages that you have. But like other than that, I think you would have to have one thing that will make you like really stand out.
Like, yeah, right, like a hobby or yeah,
Hmm.
some kind of skill.
And like the most important thing is to smile.
Like talk with like someone in the class, because like maybe you're gonna feel like your my English is not good, and then like you're not like you don't have confidence for your English, but actually they don't care about your English at all because they know that you are like international student, and then and then like just try to like be friends with those people, and then just like say hi, and then like after the class, like can we eat lunch together, or like just ask simple questions, and then maybe like they're gonna be interested in you, and then yeah, just don't be scared of like people or
Mm.
You know, I myself
yeah.
lived in the off-campus apartment, which makes it difficult to start new friendship. But fortunately, the Memorial University offered some events that connects the international students. That was helpful actually, and that was one thing I loved Memorial University. So yeah, I offered you to go to Memorial University if you want to make a lot of friends. Yeah, and never be afraid to talk to the new friends,
Mhm.
and also you have to take advantage of that events also.
Mm.
All right, so I think that'll wrap up today's episode. So I hope this was helpful for you students considering studying abroad.
Mm.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Yes.